One thing I do want to start off with is last week with the State of the Union on Tuesday. I believe it was either Monday afternoon or Tuesday. News started circulating around the internet, and I'm already getting choked up. News started circulating around the internet that Doc Thompson had passed away. Doc Thompson, as of most recently, was a host of the Daily Mojo on Mojo Radio, and he had moved there after a time of being the daily morning the morning host of the Morning Blaze on Blaze Radio. Now, if you've been following this podcast for a while, you know at least some of my backstory, being that about 3 years ago at this point, 3 or 4 years ago, I had attempted to grab the attention of the Blaze for an employment opportunity, for an employment position that they did not have available at the time. It was just me trying to get that position based on my personality and what I could bring to the mix in whatever role they would see fit. But at the time, with my marketing background, I put together a video called The Blaze Hot Topics, which you can see to this day on my YouTube channel. One of the very first videos that's on there, followed up by The Blaze Marketing Concepts, I think it was, or Marketing Suggestions, I'm not sure. But I had put this video together and starred in it myself because at the time I just didn't have the budget to do much of else. My wife was producing because she's a video producer herself and taught me how to do most of this stuff. And I did the acting in the video for this concept that I put out there. And my concept was to take that and make it go viral enough to grab the attention of the Blaze to have them contact me, a nobody, and still a nobody, all right? And it worked. It's still a shock to this day because even those closest to me would tell you that they supported me at the time, but thought there was no chance for that to ever happen, that there was no way I would grab the attention with a simple video of a major media corporation with one of the top 3 to 5, I don't know where he stands now, radio hosts in conservative radio, with my ideas and everything. One of the first people to reach out to me was actually Jeffy Fisher of The Blaze, who said that he was going to try to get my material over to Glenn Beck. And then I reached out to Doc Thompson and Skip Lacombe, who's no longer doing radio things and actually working on spaceship stuff, for crying out loud. But I reached out to both of them, and they both responded immediately with, "We are going to do whatever we can to help you get in front of the appropriate people." That year, I went down to CPAC for the first time. Didn't have the money. I didn't have a job at the time. I was struggling, and the only thing I could do was a bootstrap budget of trying to put whatever I could together to get in front of the Blaze. And I knew Glenn Beck was going to be there that year. I looked into prices. Tickets are over $1,000 to go down there to CPAC, and so I was frantically searching to see what I could do, and there at the bottom was volunteer opportunities. Volunteer at CPAC, you get half a day for volunteering. The other half of the day, you're free to access everything at the convention. So I immediately signed up for that and thought, no matter what I do, I'm going to get in front of Glenn Beck. I went down. First people I met up with at the Blaze, Doc Thompson and Skip Lacombe. And they both took me under their wing. You could see pictures recently that I posted on Facebook and Instagram and everything. And Doc Thompson and Skip Lacombe were saying, "I'm going to get you in front of Glenn Beck. We'll introduce you and everything." And that night we went to a dinner for a lot of the higher ups and everything at CPAC, and it was just a gathering of bigwigs. And Doc Thompson and Skip Lacombe were there, and I had the opportunity to just kind of basically break bread or bruschetta, for whatever it is, for crying out loud, just over the table. And we were talking, and the one thing that Doc Thompson told me, and Skip Lacombe, they looked at me and they said, "No matter what happens, what you did grabbed the attention of the company, and is really good in concept. And the only advice that we can give you is that if those are the only videos that you have, keep making videos, keep doing something. I went on from there to have Glenn Beck actually see the video and tell the president of the Blaze to call me. That led to the president of the parent company, Mercury Radio Arts, to call me. And at some point, it just fell apart. They all seemed excited to have me on and doing something, whether it was producing or being in front of the camera or marketing department. But it fell apart, and to me, it was a sign from God at that point, because it wasn't too far after that they had major layoffs there, and it would have involved me moving down to Texas to do that. The point being, I would not be where I am today with this podcast without Doc Thompson and Skip Lacombe. And when I went home from CPAC that year, I was trying to figure out, how do I continue doing video work and keeping in front of people when I don't have a platform to do it from. I don't have a way of doing it. And it started off with small videos. You could go back. There's a lot of really funny videos that I did of me analyzing each candidate within the primaries on both the Democratic side and the Republican side. And I tore apart Donald Trump at that point in time. I said I was a never Trumper at that time. That video is brutal of me going after him. And to this day, I don't back down on the things that I said about that. But I would only add to that list on the accomplishments that I think he's done for this country. And I am ready today to go to the voting booth for the 2020 election to pull that lever for him. So things have certainly changed as I've learned more. But with those little videos, I continued to progress into the podcast. And this podcast is because of Doc Thompson. And I kept in touch and talked to Doc Thompson, Skip Lacombe, Jeffy I was back and forth with on a couple occasions. I went back and forth with Lawrence Jones. At one point in time, I met him at CPAC within the last 2 years, and he wanted me to be his producer and helped me apply at the Blaze. These people, when you look at celebrities like this, you think that they're untouchable, that they wouldn't talk to you, but they're a lot of them are everyday people, and Doc Thompson and these people really stepped up to help a nobody out. And unfortunately, what happened was he had left his morning show to go out for a jog and was jogging along a railroad track and had his earbuds in and was apparently struck by the Amtrak train going by, and it killed him. And he left behind his wife and 2 very young children. So that's really tough. But one thing I will tell you is there is a GoFundMe page set up for him right now. It's at gofundme.com/Doc-Thompson. And you can go there, and they're raising money for his family to help out with with any costs of whatever goes into that, helping to support the family. He sunk everything that he had apparently into this new radio venture, and that's really tough. They had a $20,000 goal on the GoFundMe page, and they're already up to $134,349. And they continue. I'm looking at a $30 donation from someone just 33 minutes ago. So certainly, if Doc Thompson has touched your life, and you listen to the Morning Blaze, if you did the hashtag What I Learned Today, certainly go there and donate something, because it's just a tragedy to lose a leader in the conservative movement, that's for sure.